Yuval, welcome back to the channel. My name is David. Today we're going to be talking about the Sigma 85mm f1.4 DG/DN for Sony mirrorless cameras. Now, a lot of people like using the 85mm for portraits because it produces a very nice, flattering look on your subject. And on the video side of things, it's a fantastic lens for interviews or B-roll shots because you get this really nice subject isolation at f1.4. This has been such a fun lens to use for music photography, and I've been using this along with the 35mm 1.4 by Sigma for about 75% of the jobs that I have shot recently, just because I don't need anything longer than 85mm. And also because I find myself in low light environments, that 1.4 aperture really comes in clutch. Recently, Sony also announced their new 85mm f1.4 G Master lens version 2. And while I could have waited to pre-order that lens, I decided to go with the Sigma because that's the beauty of the Sony E-mount. You have plenty of options for your budgetary needs. And really, at the price that this lens is sitting at right now, it is a very good deal. Like, I had money left over that I picked up the 35mm, which is awesome. As always, we're going to be talking about autofocus performance, build quality, and image quality, not in that particular order. And quick disclaimer, Sony and Sigma did not provide any of the equipment shown in this video. I purchased everything with my hard-earned money, and my wallet is still in therapy. So with that said, let's just get started with the video. The Sigma 85mm 1.4 DG/DN Art is part of Sigma's Art line of lenses, which means this has a very nice premium build quality to it, and it's made in Japan. The body uses a mix of aluminum and what Sigma calls thermally stable composite. This mix of materials makes the lens durable and lightweight, coming in at 625 grams or 1.3 pounds. The mount of the lens uses a brass bayonet for superb mounting rigidity, and it features a weather sealing gasket. Sigma also says that this lens is fully weather sealed, so you could use it how you like in all kinds of weather conditions. At the base of the lens, you'll find the aperture ring, which makes a very satisfying click when adjusting. The lens also does have a declick switch to turn off the click noise, which is great if you're shooting video. On the left, you'll find a customizable button which can be reprogrammed for a variety of settings. Above that is the autofocus manual focus switch. At the front of the lens is the manual focus ring, which turns very smoothly. The front filter size is a 77mm, and it comes with a plastic lens hood out of the box. Overall, this lens feels way more expensive than it really is, and it certainly doesn't disappoint. Back in the day when you bought third-party lenses, the trade-off for the savings would usually be poor autofocus performance or mediocre image quality. With modern-day third-party lenses, you no longer have to worry about such things. The Sigma 85mm f1.4 DG/DN Art was built for the Sony E-mount from the ground up, so the autofocus performance feels like that of a native lens. It utilizes a stepping motor which provides fast and quiet autofocus performance. Using the subject detect autofocus in the Sony A7C Mark II, I had no issues acquiring focus in both photo and video applications, even if I was shooting at f1.4. Now, the lens does have a little bit of focus breathing. Personally, I haven't noticed it in actual use, and a lot of Sony's newer bodies like the A7C Mark II have a focus breathing compensation option to help reduce it. Overall, the performance out of this lens is fantastic and reliable, which at the end of the day is the only thing that matters. Like I mentioned earlier, back in the day, the trade-off for savings with third-party lenses was usually mediocre image quality. I'm happy to report that the image quality with this lens is stellar. Images out of this lens are sharp, vibrant, and very clinical. We've gotten to a point now where the formula in these modern-day lenses is roughly the same across the industry. The lens features 5 special low dispersion elements that help combat chromatic aberrations and color fringing, a super multi-layer coating that has been applied to the lens to help minimize things like flaring, ghosting, especially if you're shooting with backlit conditions. The rounded 11-blade diaphragm produces a smooth and pleasing bokeh. Overall, this lens is a winner in the image quality department, and if you happen to shoot on one of Sony's high-res cameras like the Sony A7C-R or the A7R5, this lens can resolve for high-resolution sensors, allowing you to capture all kinds of detail. And that's the review. So here are my thoughts on the 85mm 1.4 DG/DN Art Series lens. If you're looking for the best bang for your buck, at $1,200, this lens is the one to go for. Not only do you get fantastic image quality and great build quality that you come to expect from an art series lens, the autofocus in this lens actually is better than Sony's original 85mm G Master lens. And then when you look at it from the just cost perspective compared to the new 85mm 1.4 G Master version 2 by Sony, this lens saves you 600 bucks. Those $600 you could turn around and get something like a 35mm 1.4 by Sigma on sale, or if you buy it used. And now you have two lenses that are going to cover pretty much like all your ranges for most applications. And for me, having that ability to save money and then turn around and buy something else is amazing, because now it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg. And that's the beauty about Sony's E-mount, is that we have so much choice available to us at all different price points. And I'd argue Sigma is kind of like the third-party candidate to go with, because they have been producing fantastic lenses for the last few years, and also some really cool unique focal lengths like that new 28 to 45 1.8 zoom, which I still want to try because I think it's a cool focal range to play with. But yeah, at the end of the day, your needs are different than my needs. I kind of just am trying to best convey why you should get this lens, and I hope that this has helped you otherwise. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, double tap the dislike button twice. Trust me, it works. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and follow me on Instagram at DeloVisuals to stay up to date with all my adventures. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego. Oh my God, it's so freaking hot in here. It is like 93 degrees today in LA, and that is actually cooler because the last like 4 days it was like 110, 112 degrees outside, and it's just, I don't know how people live like in the desert and like say, yeah, I like living here, you know. They're probably just masochists at this point. All right, I'll see you guys soon.